Hi guys, Ashley here. Today I'm bringing you Wendy, Chen again, and we're going to talk about another exciting platform in China, which is Kuaishou. Wendy, tell us very quickly, what is Kuaishou?
Yes, actually there are two major short video platforms in China now. The first one we have already talked about before is Douyin, and another one is Kuaishou. Actually, different from Douyin, Kuaishou has some similarities and also have some differences with Douyin. The similarities, firstly, it's all based on the short video function. The secondly, it's all have the vertical version of the videos. And not only you can see what you have already subscribed, but also there is a recommendation function called that. In this recommendation, you can see based on the AI and also the big data, what kind of bloggers you are following and what kind of contents you are most interested in. So it will recommend you some interesting contents. So besides this, it also has some like differences. With Douyin mostly targeted at the tier 1 and also the tier 2 cities, but for Kuaishou it mostly targeted lower tier cities such as the tier 3 or tier 4 cities. Yes, and because Douyin is mainly based on its entertainment function, it's like, oh, I will show all the interesting life to you. But for Kuaishou, it will tell you that, oh, I will show all kinds of life. Not only just interesting, but also like the agriculture and also like some very lower tier cities life.
Yeah, and people are interested in watching that, right?
Yeah,
people are interested in not only be entertained, but sometimes they really like watching somebody, for example, raising pigs, or teaching you how to cook, right? And all that happens a lot on Kuaishou. So let's talk a bit more about the users. You've already mentioned that Douyin is primarily for higher tier cities, but we're also seeing right now that Douyin is trying to capture people from lower tier cities, right? And Kuaishou, on the contrary, they are traditionally more focused on lower tier cities, but now they're trying to go up with their recent collaboration with JD.com. They are really going up. So let's talk a bit more about the users. Are they, what is the balance of gender? What is the age? Where do they come from? What can you tell me about the users?
Yes, firstly, we can see the gender. So also differently from Douyin. Douyin has more female users instead of the male users, but for Kuaishou, it's in the contrary. Kuaishou has more male users.
How many more?
Just a little bit. Like I think the Kuaishou has like 53% is male users, and the rest is female users. So there's just a slightly different. And also for the locations, mostly Kuaishou's users are based in the northern part of China. So this is also different from Douyin. And as Ashley has mentioned before, Kuaishou has cooperated with JD.com to target more higher tier cities users now.
And what are some of the functions when you are on Kuaishou? I think a lot of people kind of understand Douyin a lot better because there is TikTok version and people basically are exploring this app in the West as well. But when it comes to Kuaishou, what are some of the functions? When I am a user and I go to Kuaishou, what do I do apart from watch videos of of people showing and sharing their life? What can I do? How can companies market to me?
Yes, actually Kuaishou has a very, very important function which many people do not know. It is e-commerce function. Many people will go to Kuaishou to buy products, not only for like the agricultural products, but also for the daily usage. And there are many brands like to cooperate with Kuaishou KOLs, and also many brands has already entered it to Kuaishou. So this is also different from Douyin. At the beginning, Douyin has invited many KOLs from Weibo and also some celebrities from Weibo to enter its platforms to do the promotion. But for Kuaishou didn't pay attention to this. So after the traffic pool has been already built properly, many brands entered Kuaishou to do the live streaming and to do the e-commerce, such as Kwai, one of China's biggest domestic 3C products, producing the air conditioners, and its CEO Dong Mingzhu has also entered Kuaishou to do the live streaming to sell its own products, and now she is one of Kuaishou's biggest live streamers now. Yes, and besides this, we have to see, many people may think that Kuaishou is just a short video platform, but based on this is e-commerce function. I have several very simple data to share with you. In 2019, Taobao's GMV for Taobao live streaming is around 200 million RMB to 200 billion RMB to 250 billion RMB. And for Kuaishou, this year in 2020, Kuaishou had set a goal that they said I will achieve the GMVs in Kuaishou in 2020 around 250 billion RMB. So we can see that it is just the same with the Taobao. If we can see that Taobao live streaming is the top level, Kuaishou live streaming for e-commerce is the second level.
Yeah. And when in comparison to Douyin, which has much weaker e-commerce function, do you think it is so? Do you think the e-commerce function is much weaker, and what are the reasons?
Actually, first we can see Douyin, of course, has weaker live streaming e-commerce function, because actually just at the beginning of 2020, Douyin has started to do their own e-commerce. But for Kuaishou, it has developed for many years, and just at the beginning of this year, 2020, Kuaishou has started to cooperate with JD.com to do the e-commerce. So how they cooperate is like JD has opened its storage pool for Kuaishou, and Kuaishou QLs and also Kuaishou live streamers can pick whatever they like in JD storage. And in this case, JD will also share their most advantaged logistics with Kuaishou and also like the post-selling service.
Yeah. So basically, I'm a blogger on Kuaishou. I go to JD and I choose the products that are there. And when I link my live stream to these products, JD gives me preferential treatment. They give me great products at great price, and also they handle logistics and service, etc. to make sure that people get the product delivered very often within one day across the country. Correct? Very cool. And when it comes to the companies, what kind of brands, what kind of industries are selling best on Kuaishou?
Yes, we have talked about before, the cosmetics, the luxury, and many like fancy products are selling good in Douyin. And for Kuaishou, first is most important is of course the cosmetics also selling good, but it's different from Douyin. It's not big brands, but something like the domestic brands in Kuaishou. And also the agriculture products is another very important feature on Kuaishou selling platform. So for this kind of like lower price products, we can see that why Kuaishou has cooperated with JD. Many people will doubt that, because actually another very important product on Kuaishou is 3C products. So there is a very interesting story about Kuaishou with Pinduoduo and also with JD. Many people will doubt that why Kuaishou do not choose Pinduoduo to do the live streaming cooperation, but they finally choose JD. It is because Kuaishou will consider that Pinduoduo's target audience has very overlap with its Kuaishou's target audience. And after they do the live streaming, they will be concerned that whether I will introduce my target audience and my traffic to Pinduoduo, and they won't come back to me. So this is another concern they have.
And apart from selling cosmetics and selling fruits, as you mentioned, do you think there is an opportunity for international brands, for foreign companies on Kuaishou, or is it still too early for foreign brands to enter this platform?
For me, I think it is a little bit early because actually Kuaishou is just started to target the higher tier cities. Their main target audience is in the lower tier cities. They're the price sensitive group, and they have really high the requirements for the price and instead of the product's quality. And for this case, another platform called Kwai, this is an international version for Kuaishou in the overseas. I think is more suitable for the for international brands if you want to enter, because actually in this case Kwai has a different like the policy landscape from Kuaishou. When they started to enter overseas market, they invited many celebrities, invited many fancy KOLs to enter this platform to gain more traffic. So I think this is just the difference between the landscape and difference from the brand positioning.
And what about Kwai itself? Some people might be wondering, so is Kwai also available within mainland China borders? Can people order there, or is it just an international version that's available outside of China?
It's just an international version.
It's just an international version. But is actually Kuaishou good to prepare people for consumption later on? Is it good for branding?
Yeah.
Do you think brands need to set up their accounts, or is it again not something that people shall be doing?
Oh, I think this is about B2B or B2C products. Yes, if you are B2B products, actually for Kuaishou, I think this is a really good platform for you to enter. First, we can see the cooperation with JD and Kuaishou. This is a really good chance. And secondly,
so for next year, there will be a lot going on there in that direction.
Yeah. And also for now, Kuaishou has actually many QLs have its own stores and also have its own storage instead of I cooperate with some brands, but also they will just like the NetEase selection. This is they will select all the good products from a manufacturer or from a B2B markets. Yeah, so in this way, I think this is a really good chance for B2B brands wants to enter Kuaishou.
And also do some one-off campaigns with KOLs and bloggers. It's also a much cheaper platform to grow your audience, right? So if you're looking to target lower tier cities in China with your product or service, and you would like to build a solid base of consumers, Kuaishou could be a very interesting platform to consider, keeping in mind that right now they're collaborating with JD, and more upscale and more sophisticated consumers are also entering the platform. What shall marketers do if they decide to go to Kuaishou? What would be your advice for them in 2020 and 2021?
Yes, there is a very interesting function in Kuaishou. Firstly, I have to say it's called the plot with some interesting stories. Yes, so in this case, many QLs will create stories and create short videos, and then they will insert your product into this platform, into this advertising video. But it's not like advertising. It's just like a very interesting short story.
Natural placement, product placement.
Yeah. So besides this, actually, because for now, I think Kuaishou's advertising function and also Kuaishou's content creation is not that mature compared to Douyin or other like Weibo or something else. So in this case, I think if you want to prepare for the contents, maybe you can build your own team to do in-house team to do the marketing, especially for creating the contents, creating the materials for Kuaishou. Or you can invite another agency or something to help you to do this kind of things in a different angle. And because it cannot be completed by a person, because the creation will always round. Yeah.
It will take some time. Are there some good companies that are doing a great job on Kuaishou? Who would you recommend us to watch?
You mean brands?
Yeah, brands that are doing it really, really well.
Yeah, yes, just as I mentioned, the Green. Green is a Chinese domestic air conditioner brand. This is very interesting, and we have already mentioned that its CEO has sold great job on Kuaishou. I think just in the past 6-18 shopping festival, Dongmingzhu, its CEO, has sold at least 120 million RMB products on Kuaishou. Yeah, so this is I think this is a really good example, because for most of the Kuaishou QLs, it's different from the QLs on other platforms. It's like a friend, like a company for the users. So it's very important to build your positioning and build your tongue on this platform.
Thank you very much, Wendy. Now we know a lot more about Kuaishou. Guys, stay tuned for more videos on Chinese social media platforms to come, and we will continue with this discussion.